This is Monty in the Morning, the show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? It is Monty in the Morning. It's already May 31st.
Yeah, bro.
Remember when we were making May the 4th be with you?
Yeah. Joke's on you.
It's May 31st. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. If you are in service to our country, thank you so much for everything that you do for us. What a show we have for you today. The NBA Finals start Thursday. Hey, not to told you I told you so, but I told you so.
Yeah.
As I always do.
Yeah.
We'll talk NBA Finals coming up. By the way, just a baseline precursor question this morning. Have you ever seen Jurassic Park? Have you ever seen any of the Jurassic Park movies? Are you a fan of Carl's Jr. and Hardee's? Hardee's. I haven't seen a Hardee's since I was a kid growing up in Illinois. But I happen to think some strong opinions about Carl's Jr. We're going to talk about their new Primal menu. Coming up on the show. We've also got to talk about gas prices. By the way, we did not travel this weekend. We are actually traveling next weekend, which brings me to my other point, which is we will only be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, as we will be off Thursday and Friday for a small vacation, So 3 shows this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, off Thursday, Friday. So we will look forward to, to chatting with y'all again next week for 5 days.
Remember, today's Tuesday, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. Today's Tuesday already.
2 shows this week.
I love it. 2 shows this week, Tuesday, Wednesday. Already made that mistake. Already 4 minutes into the show, and I already made that mistake. Tuesday, Wednesday, off Thursday, Friday this week.
Yeah.
We'll be back with a full week of shows next week right here on the Monty Show. But without further ado, let's talk Utah Jazz basketball to tip off the show today.
Yeah, see what he did there? That was a basketball reference, and he said, tip off, and okay, go ahead. It all works together. And stuff.
Jumping at center circle.
Right. Okay.
Let's tip off the show by talking about the most ridiculous Donovan Mitchell trade rumors, and it is getting thick and deep, and there's nothing else that needs to describe this situation with Donovan Mitchell rumored to be traded to everybody from Boston to Cleveland to your mom. And I, again, will just say what we have been reporting since the turn of the new year, that Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz have a working agreement and that the Jazz have absolutely no plans to trade Donovan Mitchell. Let's get that very straight right now. The Utah Jazz are not trading Donovan Mitchell, but at some point we had to stop down and laugh at some of these ridiculous trade rumors. And Jake, I think there are a lot out there, but do you have one that you think is the single most ridiculous one?
Yeah, so there's this one out there, and, obviously it's going to go ahead and involve the Knicks, but it's a 3-teamer that essentially is a situation where the Knicks are going to get Donovan Mitchell, the Jazz are going to get Zion Williamson, Evan Fournier, and a first-round pick, and the Pelicans are going to get R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley. To me, this is crazy because, first of all, why would the Jazz want Zion Williamson? Why would you replace Donovan Mitchell with Zion Williamson in your current setup? It doesn't make a lot of sense. So Mike Conley's gonna be your main dude, essentially. He's gonna be the main guy. And then, by the way, if you pick up Zion Williamson, what does that do to Rudy Gobert? You're gonna have 2 bigs on the floor, or 2 guys that really are dominant paint players in a league that's built to run up and down and play in transition a lot. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense either. So when I saw this one, and obviously this one's been out for a while, but this one to me was like, man, like this just does not make a lot of sense. And you can get into the financials and all that good stuff, and I'm sure it doesn't make sense there either. But I was just looking at these from a a very surface level, this guy went to this roster, how does that work? And Don went to this roster, how would that work? Obviously, for the Knicks, Donovan Mitchell would fit in just fine, but I just don't see any way that would ever make sense, even for the Pelicans. I mean, you look at the Pelicans in this scenario getting RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me either, because now you've already got Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, and you're going to try and work RJ Barrett into that mix. Well, he's not going to start over those two guys, so where are you going to put him, at the 3? I don't think so. So that's why I say this one in particular doesn't make a lot of sense, and I do think it is the single most ridiculous one that's floating around.
Okay, so to address the Knicks trade rumor directly.
Yeah.
Remember the last time we saw Donovan around the Knicks? It was, his best friend ever since the womb, gave birth to Donovan the Amazing Mitchell.
Right.
Emmanuel Quickly is his best friend on earth ever in any situation that we've ever heard of.
Right.
So wait, let me get this right. He's going to go to the Knicks and they're going to trade his best friend ever? Wouldn't he be going to the Knicks to play with Emmanuel Quickly? And I don't know. I think it's so ridiculous that Donovan Mitchell, and the thing that blows my mind is that I feel like fans fall into the honeypot on a regular basis when it comes to Donovan Mitchell trades. And I say that because Don has said he has one goal in his career: to win NBA championships, multiple championships he wants to win.
Right.
Why would you go to the Knicks right now if your goal was to win a championship? They are no closer to the ultimate prize than the Utah Jazz are. They are no closer to the NBA Finals. In fact, at this very moment, I would say they are much further away than the Utah Jazz are, even if it has nothing to do with the players. The ownership situation in New York is inferior to what Ryan Smith has built in this club. So it makes no sense that Donovan Mitchell would go to the New York Knicks right now. But that is not all, friends, because the Cleveland Cavaliers are also rumored to be trading for Donovan Mitchell. And I think, unlike Jake, I think this trade right here, this rumor, is the single worst trade in the history of bad trades ever. Does that state?
It's ridiculous.
How bad I think this?
Yeah, I think it does. I think that covers it.
The Jazz receive Kevin Love, Isaac Okoro, a 2025, 2026, 2027, and 2028 first-round pick.
How about that?
So 86 first-round picks, a player that's old and a player who's not on Donovan Mitchell's level for Donovan Mitchell. All Cleveland gets is Donovan Mitchell.
That doesn't seem like a fair trade.
That's one of the dumbest trade ideas I've ever heard for both sides of the... I think that is the single dumbest, most ridiculous trade rumor for Donovan Mitchell that I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is, with these trade rumors, that's what I always point to, whether we're talking about, if you go back to the him or me tweet, or you go back to any of these trade scenarios or anything that you hear about the Jazz and in trades, and whether it's Donovan Mitchell or somebody else on the roster, all the time we look at these and we're like, man, this just doesn't make a lot of basketball sense. Why would the Jazz do this? Why would Cleveland give up, 3 first-round picks or whatever, and Isaac Okoro and Kevin Love? Nobody would do that. And that's why I say when we're in this time of year, the dead period, if you will, for every other team besides the Warriors and the Celtics, all you're getting is Rumorville and what could be. And I'm here to tell you, and like he was just saying, they're not trading Donovan Mitchell. And frankly, as a Jazz fan, you got to come to grips with that. They're not trading him. It's not happening. Rudy Gobert, Bojan Bogdanovic, maybe even Mike Conley, those are guys that are on the trade block. Those are guys that they're going to look to move to get value back. But again, looking at these trade scenarios, there's another Knicks scenario where it's just head up with the Jazz. I know you're going to find this hard to believe. It's the Knicks again. The Knicks get, you guessed it, Donovan Mitchell. The Jazz in this scenario would get RJ Barrett, Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, Evan Fournier, and 2 first-round picks. Bro, Donovan Mitchell hasn't even been in the MVP conversation. You're sending him, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 first-round picks, no chance. No chance.
I think you have to stop reacting so emotionally. Saturday, like, I'm just hanging out. We spent the day like power washing the Jeep on Friday.
Power.
Like we're enjoying our wonderful period of rest.
Right.
And, oh, DM, ding, ding, ding. Oh, Donovan's going to the Heat. He's going to the Cavs, and he's going to the Barcelona FC, melancholy guys.
That's enough of that crap.
Like all of these trade rooms. Well, they're going to trade him to, the JIMMER called the Jazz, and he's going to the Shanghai Sharks.
It's not the best situation, and we all know that.
Donovan's going to the Shanghai Sharks, and they're going to send back
18 first-round picks.
and a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Like, stop like biting the hook on this stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. The worst part is at least make them make sense.
Yeah.
If you're trading Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks, you can't believe, frankly, like over the weekend, my guy Ray sends me a trade. Donovan Mitchell straight up for a first rounder and Julius Randle. Done.
I love it. Done.
Done. And it's like, no, man. The Jazz
done.
The Jazz have zero interest in Julius Randle.
Dude, you're baking
None.
the cake and you're missing the egg and the flour, bro. That's not going to work, man.
And
That's
you ain't
not
got
gonna
no
work.
icing.
Yeah. Come on, dude.
I just think if you're the Utah Jazz and you want to remake this roster, the single quickest way to do that is to trade Rudy Gobert and to trade Mike Conley.
Yeah.
Those two contracts. And listen, if you can upgrade a Royce O'Neal, I think you do that. But I don't think under any circumstances that the Utah Jazz are going to trade Donovan Mitchell. I've been told repeatedly by sources with the Jazz that they are not open to that discussion right now. And you look at what Don's already doing in the offseason. And by the way, what is he posting on social media everywhere? He's working out with world-renowned trainer David Alexander, as he has for the last 3 off seasons, as we told you he would.
Mm-hmm.
They're on an island trip with some other guys, and they are there for the sole purpose of kicking off their offseason and getting their bodies in the best shape possible. And we see Don doing flexibility and dexterity drills. We see him using, cupping techniques to help heal his legs. And it's everything you want Donovan Mitchell doing. He is working on self-healing and growing and strengthening. Why do you want to trade him now?
Yeah.
It makes very little sense. And again, as we reported back to January, Ryan Smith and Donovan Mitchell have met. He has been assured that they are going to remake this roster to play to Donovan Mitchell's strengths. The Jazz have told Don they're going to do that. Rudy Gobert has let the Jazz know that he wants to be a Jazz man, but that he's frustrated that he seems to be a scapegoat defensively, which I don't agree with, and that he has not been able to get a larger piece of the offense, and that Rudy has told the Jazz he would be open to relocating. It is not his first choice, but he would be open to a move. And I think that's the likely scenario. They have had conversations about Rudy Gobert with teams around the NBA.
Yeah.
They have had conversations about other players on this roster. Bojan Bogdanovic certainly is a guy that a lot of teams had interest in at the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're going to see that they are going to get their financial house in order this summer. That, to me, Jake, is what makes the most sense.
Yeah, and I think within that, the only other question that remains is, how aggressive they want to be in the draft. As far as trading these guys, like, is Justin Zanuck or Danny Ainge on the phone trying to make deals that include picks, and that's what I think is interesting, because you have a scenario in an organization with the Utah Jazz who don't utilize their young guys. And I think it's a really interesting conversation. You have a team in the Warriors, and you see it a little bit with Boston, but this is much more of a Golden State Warrior thing, where they played everybody. I mean, all up and down the roster, Steve Kerr played everybody, and you saw that come in handy in certain situations where you needed your Gary Payton II or your Jonathan Kumingas, or, you needed these guys to step in for a few minutes and do some things. So in contrast with the Jazz, they're not doing that. We talked all season long about how guys like Jared Butler and Doak, and you have guys like Trent Forrest who get Trent Forrest got the lion's share of the minutes, but the conversation was that Jared Butler wasn't being developed. So to me, I think what's really interesting is, hey, when are they going to prioritize the draft, if at all. And that, to me, is what's fascinating, because you're going to have opportunities. When you're trading guys the level and caliber of Rudy Gobert, you're going to have opportunities to say, hey, we want a second rounder as part of this deal, or we want this, or we want that. So I'll be really curious to see what kind of packages they're able to get in a 2 or 3 team scenario.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I really don't think that the Jazz need to rip this thing apart and go away and they're going to lose for 5 years. I just don't think that's necessary.
Yeah.
You look at where the Boston Celtics were at midseason. They were a middle to bottom table team in the Eastern Conference with a rookie head coach, and you had no hope that this team would compete for a championship. Where are they now? Competing for a championship. The Boston Celtics are in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
I don't think anymore in this league that you have to take some huge fall off a cliff to rebuild your roster.
Yeah.
You do need draft capital to do that. And I think one of the biggest storylines of this offseason, once the NBA Finals are over, will the Jazz be able to trade back into the draft? And whether that be to acquire a pick to then trade that pick in a larger deal, or will they actually draft a guy? I don't know. I think it's a very interesting question. There are a lot of those kind of questions hovering around, but the one thing that is very clear, in my opinion, is they have to get the salary cap to a place where they can compete. Because right now, when you're in the market that they are in Salt Lake City, you don't have a TV deal, you don't have a streaming deal, you have still not released your new uniforms, which I'm told now cannot happen until after the NBA Finals are over, because there is a rule in the NBA that you don't make or break news about your club during the NBA Finals. It's 100% about that series. So now I'm told you're not going to get new uniforms until after the NBA Finals at the earliest.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have fresh revenue streams coming into the club at this point. So you've got to get this financial house in order. And I think the way you do that is you make trades, you create excitement, then you bring those jerseys out to the market. Then hopefully you're going to launch like third tier rights and streaming and mobile and, like content that we haven't been able to get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're going to launch a TV deal that's going to allow everybody in the state of Utah to watch Jazz basketball on a nightly basis. I think those are all far more pressing than any conversation, Jake, that surrounds, Donovan Mitchell not being a Jazz man.
Yeah, and I think that this period is really important for the club. This period right now while the NBA Finals are happening, because make no mistake about it, there are calls and conversations happening. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Any good front office right now is having conversations and putting things in place to execute deals once the window opens. And that, to me, is why this time is so important. And then hopefully, once you execute on some deals and make some things happen, the jersey release and like the rebrand, hopefully the TV deal, all these other things that you're looking for, hopefully that will build momentum heading into camp for 2022, 2023. And then at that point, you're in really good shape, and really, Ryan Smith has found a way to really put his stamp on this roster, because that remains to be seen. I still feel like we're waiting for the team to come together that Ryan Smith envisions, and a team that can really push forward through the Western Conference to get and make its first NBA Finals appearance. And that, to me, is really what the goal should be. And I hope that doesn't take like 5 years. That really should take like 2 seasons or so. I honestly, I don't think that they're going to go to the NBA Finals this next season, but that season after that should really be their time.
You would think so. I mean, I don't know. I really hope that this team strips this roster down to Don and nobody else. I would love to see them flip this roster. And I don't have a problem keeping Jordan Clarkson. I really don't have a problem. Bojan Bogdanovic is a guy I think that just has too much value to keep. But if he's your third or fourth option on this team, I think you're fine. Other than that, I have no real use or belief in Royce O'Neal. I have no real use or belief at this point in his career for Mike Conley. I don't see guys off the bench, whether that's Hassan Whiteside, whether that's, Udoka Azubuike, who, congratulations, by the way, became a United States citizen this weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like, Eric Paschall, he's friends of the program. Let him stay. Let Eric Paschall be Donovan Mitchell's friend. He also brings value to the floor, in my opinion. Other than that, I mean, I'm not that excited about anybody on this roster. I think that if it was Donovan Mitchell, the only man standing from last season when we get to training camp, I'd be thrilled with that. I would. That would mean that you were able to access multiple deals. You were able to bring in probably 2 other, number 1A and number 2 options on offense. You got more athletic defensively. I'd be fine with that. The likely scenario is they're probably going to make one big trade and a second, minor deal to move salary off of this cap. And I think that one big trade is going to be Bojan Bogdanovic and Rudy Gobert going to another destination. Mm-hmm. I've repeatedly heard that. NBA sources have told me for the last 2 weeks that really Rudy Gobert has big value. But I thought, it was also interesting. We talk about ridiculous Donovan rumors. Rudy Gobert has been the subject of a lot of ridiculous rumors.
It's ridiculous.
Shocking. Dallas isn't interested. Did you really believe that the Dallas Mavericks were a destination for Rudy Gobert? Come on now. And if you look at what Golden State, who's also been a hot place for Rudy lately.
Yeah, when do we get the report that they're not interested?
You're not trading. The Utah Jazz are not going to trade Rudy Gobert in the Western Conference. And if they did, I think it would be the Houston scenario we've talked about so often on this show.
It would have to be to a bad team that has assets. That is the only scenario where you're trading him in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
You're not going to put him on a team that, again, you're not putting one of your best players or arguably your best player on the team. You're not sending him to another team in the Western Conference that you're going to have to go out and beat to get to the NBA Finals. You're not doing that. That doesn't make sense. And that's why with Rudy, you hear consistently Toronto, Charlotte. There was even for a cup of coffee an Orlando rumor. You're hearing a lot of teams out there out east that have options, and that's what I think the likely scenario is. I actually think, as we've said on the show many times, Toronto is the likely destination, but I like what Charlotte has to offer. I think they've got some young gun type talent.
Yeah, bring Gordy home, man. Bring Gordon Hayward back.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Good morning, Steve Hambone. How the heck are you? He says, go Celtics. Neville 93. Greg Hawkins. Rudy Sanchez says, morning, fellas. Hope you had a good weekend. You too, Rudy. Appreciate everybody being here. And then BB chimes in and says, Zion Williamson is fat. And yeah, that's what we need, a human cheesecake.
I'm sorry. I thought you said a human cheesecake.
Fat?
That's insensitive.
Yeah, come on.
He's at least a cannoli.
Fat?
Jeremy Bolton says, sup, Erwin?
Jeremy.
How's
the car?
Jeremy, how's the new car?
Jeremy got the deal done. If you were listening last week, we talked specifically about buying cash versus
the
financing.
dealership trying to force you into financing a car.
Yeah.
James Knight says, why even entertain BS trade rumors? It's crazy. And the reason we're talking about this today is, well, there's nothing else to talk about. And,
How about that?
No, because it's what fans are talking about. And we're a big believer in playing to the lowest common denominator on this show.
Yeah.
The low-hanging fruit and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think it's what Jazz fans are talking about. And generally, that's what we talk about.
Well, and we told you we were going to do it. I mean, we told you in when they were in the Dallas series, this got brought up, and we told you, no, we're going to wait till the season's over, then we'll entertain the ridiculous trade ideas, and we'll tell you how dumb they are, and and we've gone through that now.
Cody Strickland says, anyone else lose sound? No sound, ? Oh, wait, never mind. Had to reset the phone. That was weird AF.
It's internal.
That was,
I love you, Cody.
Should get an iPhone, bro.
Yeah, I love you, bro.
James Knight says, Danny Ainge is like, hold my beer, bro. Seriously. Seriously. Jeremy Bolton says, if Gordon Hayward wants to come home, he should call first. Wow. That's not nice.
Keep it real.
Eric C says RSL on a nice 3-game winning streak. Yeah. All right. We are the army of our, what is their
I don't know.
you know every word of their,
We're not there yet.
you know.
We're not there yet.
Donnie, please.
Yeah, it's not the day after the All-Star game yet.
Yeah, come on.
You know. So, by the way, the sale of Chelsea Football Club is completed.
Oh.
We now have money to actually spend that's not going to go to Vladdy. So, you know,
Vladdy.
life is good. NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the NBA Finals because I actually think this is one of the most compelling matchups we've had in recent years.
Yeah.
I love this series. I love everything about this series. And I think the main talking points after you hit the thumbs up, like, and then subscribe button, because we had a prolific weekend of subscriber count. Thank you for that. By the way, congratulations to Caleb Harrison.
Yes.
Caleb won our $250 Maverick gas card.
By the way, we're talking gas prices later in the show. It's not good.
I warn you now.
It's not good.
Yeah, congratulations on that new gas guzzler you got there, Jeremy Bolton. Way to go. Anyway, I'm kidding. Okay, let's move on. NBA Finals. I love this matchup. It is the Boston Celtics, who I think have come through one of the most difficult paths we've seen lately in the Eastern Conference against Golden State Warriors, who I don't think they've played since the Christmas game.
Yeah.
It feels like Golden State hasn't played in like a month. And now they're going to be off until Thursday night, which is when the NBA Finals start in San Francisco at Chase Center. And Jake, I think there's so many compelling storylines. I'm really excited for this series.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best series matchups that we've had in recent time. And I look back over the finals of recent years, and my favorite has been, was the KD Warriors versus LeBron and the Cavs. I think that was one of the all-time great matchups we've seen in the finals in recent history. And this has the potential to live up to that from a basketball perspective. And what I mean is, you look at the games within this game. You look at, Marcus Smart versus Steph Curry. You look at Jason Tatum trying to get by Klay Thompson, let's say. You look at all the different ways that they use Al Horford and how Draymond Green's going to have to slow that down. All these matchups within the game are really interesting, and how the defenses handle it. Because I maintain, and this really, I guess, is the crux of the conversation in this series, I maintain that the Boston Celtics have yet to see a team that plays with the pace that the Warriors play with that consistently. I don't think they've seen that yet.
Yeah, but I also don't think the Golden State Warriors have seen a team that pounds the basketball, that plays as physical as Marcus Smart plays. I don't think you've seen a team with a dynamic duel, that like Boston has with Jason Tatum and Jalen Green and, or Jaylen Brown, excuse me. Like, I just think you have so much talent that is diverse and does so many different things. That, to me, is going to be the single biggest difference, is how does Boston deal with the multifaceted Golden State Warriors offense? Mm-hmm. Because I can see a scenario where Al Horford's going to have trouble in this series, because you can play different styles. If you're Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors, you don't have to play Kevon Looney. You don't have to play big in this series. If you are Boston, I think you really want to be able to play bigger physical basketball. And I think if you're Golden State, you want to track meet, because I don't think that Boston can play at that speed, or at least they have not had to or shown their ability to. And the other question I have is, are people respecting Golden State's defensive prowess enough? Because we're hearing a lot about Boston, this great defensive basketball team, and they are, don't get me wrong. I think Marcus Smart is deserving of the Defensive Player of the Year, which means he's got a really good core of defensive players around him as well. I think Boston's very good. But, Jake, I don't think Golden State gets enough credit for being a really good defensive basketball team.
Yeah, and I think to that point, everyone's forgotten about Gary Payton II and his contributions. And obviously he was hurt. He sustained that injury in the Memphis series, but they're saying he's going to be back for the NBA Finals. And I think even, let's say that it's a scenario where he can't even shoot a basketball, but he can come back and play defense. I think that is a huge asset, because you look at Andrew Wiggins' contribution against Dallas. He played great defense on Luka, and I would expect more of the same on Jason Tatum. The question then becomes, though, how, can Andrew Wiggins, the offensive basketball player, contribute in the NBA Finals the way he did against Dallas? So that's what I'm saying. This series, I think that this is one of the best series we've had in a long time, because of the fact that you have all these mini matchups within the series that are really good. Like Jason Tatum versus Andrew Wiggins, That's a phenomenal matchup. Both are really good at what they do on each end of the floor. Klay Thompson's contribution is going to be absolutely vital. Do we get, 30-point Klay, or are we going to get 15-point Klay? What are we going to get? That will probably decide the Warriors' fate.
Yeah, and I think actually, the Otto Porter return is a big one. And by the way, Steve Kerr said yesterday that none of his three guys, Peyton, Iguodala, or Porter, have scrimmaged yet. And I think that's a big one because they play Thursday.
Yep.
And that Golden State's kind of been chilling, playing basketball against each other. And it'd be nice to see, today if you can get Gary Payton, Andre Iguodala, and Otto Porter Jr. on the floor. Because that's really the only way that you're going to know, hey, can they play in games? Can they play at that speed? And Gary Payton's a rhythm and flow player, in my opinion. He's also a try-hard guy, but he's a guy that you need to really be in the rhythm and flow and feel part of a thing so that he plays at his best. And the question for me, and the question's always going to be, when you miss as much time as he's missed with a broken elbow, essentially, that he's had, how easy is it for him to get back into the flow of the team, back into the flow of the game, and have the stamina to play at the level of energy that's required in the NBA Finals? I think that's a huge question. Otto Porter, I think he's been playing. He's missed a game or two stretch. Fine. A guy like Andre Iguodala, I actually think it's a huge risk to bring him back because he just simply has not played. And that's why I say, I would not be in a hurry to bring these guys back. I think Otto Porter brings you a lot of intelligence on the floor. I think obviously he can knock down the three. He generally makes the right play at the right time, and he's in the right spot.
Yeah.
Gary Payton obviously brings you defense, obviously brings you enthusiasm. Right? So you would like to get him back, even if it's for 5 to 7 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
I just would not bring Andre Iguodala back. When you bring him back, I think you have to ask, what is the risk reward with Andre Iguodala? I don't think the reward is high. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, I think because of his age, he's obviously not the defensive player that he was. I guess I feel like it's right in that same light of Gary Payton, what you just said, which is you could bring Iggy back, but it wouldn't be for 20 minutes a night. I mean, you're talking about 5 to 10 minute windows, but I do think he's a guy that brings a lot of value from an experience standpoint. I mean, he's played a lot of playoff basketball. Obviously, he was on the championship Warriors club, so he's been around these guys as far as the core is concerned. So, I mean, from that standpoint, he can bring a lot of value. But again, I think for the Warriors, this series is decided with those three guys, as it always has been, even when Kevin Durant was on the team. You've got Klay, Steph, and Draymond. Those three guys will decide how far they go. And to this point, they've been dynamite. And that's why I say to all the Boston Celtics folks and supporters and people who think they're going to win this series, I think that's the code you have to crack. How do we get Steph Curry in foul trouble, number one? And then number two, how are they going to handle, how are the Warriors going to use Draymond to disrupt our offense? You have to understand that dynamic.
Yeah, and Carl says that Boston doesn't belong here because Strus didn't step on the line.
Here we go.
Do we really believe that one guy stepping on the line?
Well, I mean, a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, if you look at the score and how the game finished, that three could have decided things. But I feel like this is right up the same alley as saying, oh, the officials had a bad game and they robbed us of the win. Dude.
But think about if that three-pointer stays on the board, what changes for Boston schematically? What changes for Miami schematically? Like, what would they have done different? How would the game have flowed different? Shot selection changes, defense change. Like, God, that one play didn't determine that game or that series. It was a 7-game marathon.
Yeah.
Like, one play did not keep Miami out of the NBA Finals. That's a ridiculous argument. One play, ridiculous. Yeah, one play is never going to determine a series. Was he on the line? To me, it looked like he was. They reviewed it, and they said he was on the line. They took the basket off the board after. If you didn't see it, Max Strus was on the sideline. Terrible footwork, by the way, to get him into this situation. He put his heel down on the line, shoots a three, makes it. They call it good. They go back after the fact, review it, and take the three off the board.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's 3 points in a 7-game series. You truly believe that's what kept Miami out of the final.
And they reviewed it and came to that conclusion. So that's why I say, like, it is what it is. I have to agree with you on this. If you had better footwork and when we didn't have to talk about the line, this wouldn't be a conversation. And that's again, it comes down to details, man, details. And that's a small detail that he missed.
Yep, I agree. Richard McDonald says, "Man, I love this show. So ready for college football to start back up. Is it too early? No, it's not.
It's never too early. And here's the thing. I mean, we were debating last week talking about how the Pac-12 went to win percentage versus overall wins
versus divisions, and
like that whole thing. And trust me, we're gonna get into college football a ton.
I can't wait. I'm really excited.
And it's 100 days to NFL kickoff, by the way. It's coming. I mean, it's here.
And if you think about what's ahead for football in this state, I mean, you have BYU going into the Big 12. You've got a Utah Ute team that's coming off of a Rose Bowl and a Pac-12 championship.
Yep.
I mean, you just have so much to look forward to.
You got the USC dynamic this year.
Yeah, I mean, the Pac-12 on its own has just so many storylines in it. I mean, the games that you're going to see at Utah this year, the home games at Utah, the preparation, the changes that are happening in Provo to get into the Big 12 next year and really try to compete right out of the gate. I mean, there's so much change happening in college football in this state. It's remarkable. And it is a really exciting time to be a college football fan. Unless you're Tanner Plummer, who went to the RSL game and got his car towed.
You got your car towed.
Tanner.
What happened? Now you got to tell the story.
Well, I'm guessing that Tanner parked illegally and got his car towed. I mean, that's
So you got red carded in the parking lot.
Yeah, essentially. See what he did.
See what I did there? It's a soccer reference. Red card.
No, it's not a soccer reference.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a football reference.
Football reference.
My bad.
It's a football reference.
Sorry.
Tanner says, Eric C., I got to the game with my dad. It was fun. Sadly, our car got towed, but thankfully we were able to get it back for like $7,000. Getting your car towed is one of the worst things that can happen to you. I'm telling you. Well, I mean, pay your tickets. I've never had my car booted. A good friend of mine in L.A. never pays his parking tickets. He got his Land Rover booted. And it's like, dude, that's the worst thing ever. Ever.
That's it, Skippy.
Yeah. BB says, I hate Warriors. Just hating them take 2 years of and go draft big. We too old for that damn go Boston. Had to throw up a little.
All right, next comment.
Don't drink so early in the morning.
Yeah.
I despise Golden State, James Knight says. We know. You hate Draymond.
Yeah, well, you hate anything that's not Joe Ingles.
He also says that he likes Patty Mills. Mm-hmm. He also says that he is doubling down on Draymond getting ejected in Game 3.
Oh, well. Wow.
Yeah, because you didn't hit the trifecta on that one, did you?
Yeah.
Where's my 4X gold, by the way?
Yeah.
Big Dog O-Town says, yeah, Boston are tough defensively, but Golden State got them horses and will run Boston ragged. Never underestimate Golden State's defense and their pedigree of being champions, the core three.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
I do love the conversation about legacy. If Steph wins another one.
Yes.
Shaboy.
Yes.
Kevin Durant hasn't done a thing.
Yeah.
Since he got
Well, you know what was funny?
Wait, hey. He hasn't done a thing since he got that last ring.
Let's see what he did there. Hasn't done a thing since he got that last ring.
Anyway, the point, nothing?
Facts.
Okay. BB says still hate them, though. Okay.
But you know what's funny? You know what's really funny? Since Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant left their last teams, both of those teams are in the NBA Finals. Wrap your head around that one.
Yeah. James Knight says, shout out to Mo Bamba, big dog.
Yeah, I played it already.
Yeah, man.
I played it, man. I came
big
through.
Dog.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
Big dog, you the man, dude.
Yeah,
Good
man.
to see you. Jeremy Bolton says comment dump. It's never too early to talk about Jaron Hall and how he's going to be the #1 GOAT QB in the state. Screw Cam Homeless, rising in Logan's Chubb. I mean, Boner. What is wrong with you, Jeremy Bolton? Jeez. Greg Hawkins says, I'd love to hear some more college football. I miss football. I miss football, too.
Yeah, man.
I miss football, too.
I mean, we can. You want to talk? We can talk. Baker Mayfield. See what I did there, Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield.
You know, if you're Baker Mayfield, how terrible do you feel that your football team likes you so little that they went and traded for a 22-time accused sexual assaulter?
Oh.
They went and traded for Deshaun Watson, who's got 22 pending civil cases accusing him of sexual assault, allegedly. That's how little they like you. The Browns haven't been able to trade Baker Mayfield. Not only that, we all know Deshaun Watson has his entire offense like in some tropical island paradise teaching them how to catch his footballs.
Yeah.
And you're not there. So now your teammates like Deshaun way more than they like you.
Yeah.
Deshaun's going to get suspended for the year, and they're going to expect you to be the starting quarterback. And when you refuse to show up to be the starting quarterback, they're going to call you selfish, and you're going to be a villain.
Bet you weren't expecting this one.
Congratulations, Baker, on that great career. My goodness, how things have changed for Baker Mayfield.
And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Goodness gracious. Neville 93 throws up a middle finger to Boston. Okay. Wow. Great year to be a college football fan in Utah. Go Cougs, Richard McDonald
Yeah, and
says.
by the way, hold on. We have been talking college football. The Nick Saban and Jimbo thing? Come on.
Yeah.
We worked in some college football.
Nick Saban.
It's ridiculous.
By the way, the SEC coaches meeting starts today, and it is for every coach of every sport at every school. And they have to all meet together in the same room. And both Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher
Yeah.
Jimbo, I don't know what you're talking about.
are going to be together in the same room today. Any chance they talk.
No.
Because Jimbo says it's over.
All right.
Jimbo
It
says
is if I say it is.
Jimbo says it's over.
It ain't over, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Eric,
It's not over.
Eric C says, man, I don't think I can get into college football again this year when the Chargers are so good. Eric C says, you got to be into this year. Our teams play against each other again. He means Utah and San Diego State. Tanner Plummer says, LOL. Okay, so here's what happened. It was my dad's car, and we decided to park it at this one spot where we've parked many times over the years for RSL games. Nothing ever happened. So in other words, you parked in an illegal parking spot for years and got away with it. And now the man was like, look at this dick. We're
It's the
towing
fucking
this
Vernal
car.
Equinox.
We're towing this car. Ryan Smith saw it, and he's like, hey, yeah, have somebody tow that. No freeloading. We got
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
No freeloading. Everybody pays. We got to, we got this Mike Conley contract. Yeah, tow that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway. Richard McDonald says, Jaron Karen Hall is the truth.
Man,
okay.
If he can stay healthy, can the guy stay on the
Can
football
Jaron
field,
Hall
dude?
Stay healthy.
That's the biggest thing. Like, can the guy understand, hey, yes, I have the ability to run the football, but I shouldn't be running it all the time because if I do that, I'm not going to stay on the field.
But
That's
here's the thing that I don't also understand is why are BYU fans already like, yeah, first round pick? Like, are you serious?
The
right
guy,
now?
I mean, I hope we're all on the same page. Jaron definitely has proving to do. I think, the problem last season for all the BYU fans on the show is that, you were having a good season. He gets hurt. He comes back too soon. He plays against Baylor. He gets his ass kicked. He comes out, throws a couple nice touchdowns, but they lose by a bunch. Like, there is proving to do.
Yes.
The only reason Zach Wilson got drafted as high as he got drafted is because they had a great season. They had, what was it, a 1-loss season or a 2-loss season, I think it was? I'd have to go back and verify. But you had a dynamite season with him as your quarterback, and that's why he got drafted. So that's what Jaron has to do. And,
Coastal Carolina.
yeah, and by the way, it'd be nice if you had a nice season headed into the Big 12 and that whole thing.
All
that's
of this
coming.
is predicated on Jaron Hall staying
Yeah.
healthy. If somebody's got to teach that guy that, you are not invincible because, I mean, he got hurt. Let's remember, he got hurt at the end of the USC game or the Arizona State game, trying to run in for a touchdown.
Yeah, he got thumped.
You can't do that as a quarterback. You just can't. Let's see. James Knight says the Jeep content was great, guys. Looked like a lot of fun. Thank you. Check it out. Our Moab trip to Fins and Things with the Jeep, which is, by the way, stacked.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I'm so happy with the way that thing's turned out. We've got about 10 grand into the upgrades on our Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. And everything has just gone swimmingly. It has really been it's been an awesome project. We're going to the Tetons and Yellowstone this weekend. So that's why we're only here today and tomorrow, and then we're off until next Monday. So I apologize. We're missing quite a lot and stuff.
We're on to Cincinnati.
But yeah, we're on to the Tetons, Bill. The Tetons are not in Cincinnati, Bill.
Right.
They're in Wyoming.
Right.
James Knight, I appreciate you mentioning that. Brett Robbins says, broke down Joe Ingles can get traded, but Baker can't. Exactly.
Seriously. I mean, as much as that's tongue in cheek, it's true.
Baker, tear a knee ligament.
Yeah.
Everybody wants you. Greg Hawkins says San Diego State and Utah, September 18th.
I mean, again, every year, San Diego State is that team. They're a great team. You know they're going to be able to run the football, and it's just going to be, hey, are you going to be able to stop the run or not? And if you do, you're probably going to win the game.
I don't know. Can Steve Fisher coach football instead of basketball? Anyway, that's too deep. Tanner says we weren't the only ones who got towed. Doesn't make it right.
Doesn't matter. You're the only one that got caught.
Doesn't make it right.
Hey guys.
Ryan Smith has to pay Rudy Gobert. You're gonna pay the toll, man.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
My dad got a $500 fine, and we took an Uber to the tow place and got my dad's car.
Daddy, dude, you went to an RSL game and got a $500 fine for parking in a spot that clearly was not a parking spot.
There are no shortcuts in this life. Isn't that right, Jake?
Yeah, 100%,
Make
man.
your bed.
Yeah.
Make your bed.
Yeah.
Jeremy Bolton says, I hope Saban and Jimbo fist fight. That would be amazing.
Just the fact that his name is Jimbo just makes the whole thing that much better.
Yeah, and he was terrible at Florida.
That's an issue.
Richard McDonald says, hopefully with age, Jaron Hall's learned he's not invincible. Exactly. Tanner also says, the place we parked was next to this one restaurant, and the owner said that we could park there. Then why didn't the owner pay the $500 tab? It was on their website, but then they took it off. You tried.
So hold on.
You tried to take a shortcut.
So hold on. You park in this spot. You go to the game. You come back and your car's just not there.
Yeah.
Did you talk to the owner? How does that
Well, I'm guessing there's a sign that says, "Hey, Dick, this spot's not for parking, and if you park here, you're gonna get towed." Right? I have to believe there's a sign in every parking lot that says, "Hey, we're gonna charge you $1 million if you park here."
I guess.
I have to believe that's what happened.
I guess, but my question is, how did you find out? Like they towed your car away and you just rolled out and asked the owner where your car went? How did it go down? That's what I want to know.
The best towing story I have is I used to sell Jeeps way back in the early 90s, like 1990, 1991,
right.
92 in Schaumburg. It's Schaumburg Jeep Eagle.
Right.
You remember Eagle Talons? Oh, what a car that was. But anyway, so we used to sell Jeeps. So there was a night of, how shall I say, tomfoolery.
Right.
That took place in a Jeep Wrangler in downtown Chicago. And the guy who had the Jeep, it was a loaner from the dealership. So back in the day, when you were a salesman, they used to give you a car to drive so that you could show it off around town and stuff. So this guy, I think his name was, I want to say Kevin. For some reason, Kevin's in my head.
Not Jimbo.
No, definitely not Saban.
Okay.
So Kevin drives downtown.
Yeah.
We all get in his Jeep. We drive downtown. We had a night of ridiculousness. We went to Carson's for ribs. We were out. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Right.
Went back to the spot at 4 a.m. and the Jeep is gone.
Uh-oh.
And we have to be at work at 9 for a sales meeting.
Uh-oh.
And this is what I remember. I just remember thinking to myself, dude, man, I live in Northbrook. How am I going to get home? Because I got to get a shower and change. And I just remember saying to everybody, I'm going to hop on the Metro with the train that takes you from Chicago to the suburbs.
Yeah.
And they were all so mad at me because I was like, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
Long story short, it was more than $500 because I think I chipped in $200. And there were 4 or 5 of us. And yeah, there were 5 of us, 2 in front and 3 in back. And we were like, yeah, that's right. We were packed in this Jeep. So 5 dudes in a Jeep Wrangler. We were half sitting on each other's lap. It was, don't say it because no. But yeah, it was awkward. And so we all wound up, it was really expensive. I wound up paying $200, chipping in $200. We all chipped in to get the Jeep out.
Right.
He got fired because one of the front wheels, the suspension was bent on the front wheel of the Jeep.
And she took offense.
And he got fired. It was brutal. It was because obviously they tried to hide it. I don't remember the details of it, but It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. So not good. James Knight says you're grounded. You're grounded, Tanner. Greg Hawkins says Hoke is a good coach, but he looks like Chris Christie. He does. It's San Diego State. With all due respect, there.
Chris Christie.
Yeah, he does. Brady Hoke and Chris Christie are brothers.
Dude.
Hey man, have you ever seen their dads in different places with different women?
Relevant anymore? Like what? Like I haven't like.
Yeah.
What the hell is he even doing?
He's coaching San Diego State football. What do you mean?
Jesus.
Tanner Plummer says Jaron Hall will have a really good offensive line this year if he can stay in the pocket more and improve his mechanics. He should be healthy for most, if not all, of the season.
Well.
Eric C. says, LOL, Greg Hawkins. Neville93 says, I went to the RSL game, too. It was fun. I parked where the UTA bus picks up people. It's free. Yeah, Tanner, it's free. It doesn't cost $500.
So I said, yeah.
James Knight wants to know if the BMX bike is in the shop, Tanner. Wow. Tanner's like 30 years old. He's not a kid.
Tanner, by the way, have you been playing the Xbox at all? Tanner won an Xbox on the show. Have you even played it yet?
He probably hasn't. Tanner says, yeah, it wasn't there when we came out. And the restaurant owner was shocked. Anyway, we had fun watching RSL win, so it made up for the whole towing experience. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Big Dog says, been a USC fan my whole... Okay.
Just stop right there.
Wait, how do we block...
It's really despicable.
How do we block people? I thought... Big Dog, USC. No, come on. Seriously.
Dude, how?
Why?
Okay, what does the rest of his comments say? Can he redeem himself?
I'm not going to read it.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
He says, I've been a USC fan my whole life. And them and Utes, my two favorite college teams. You can't be a Ute. No.
It doesn't work that way, bro.
That's not nearly as bad as being like, oh, yeah, BYU, this is why, but I also root for the Utes. Like the U.
I'm a Cubs and a White Sox
like
fan.
the U.
No, you're not.
Hey, like the U.
No, you're not.
Cool hat, bro. Half a U and then a Y on the other side. This is why you're a jackass. You cannot be a Ute and a BYU fan. No. That is, no. No. Greg Hawkins says USC is shaping up to be dangerous. I think everybody says they don't have a chance to win the conference this year.
They do. They do.
Caleb Williams can play football. I mean, they are. I'm sorry, dude. The influx of talent in South Central for USC is incredible. It is what Lincoln Riley has done there. I mean, come on. You can't be serious. And I would say, the other team that I think could be sneaky good this year, speaking of the Big 12, is Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's
Texas.
So, but their defense is going to be incredible. Neville93 said, it's like saying I'm a Denver fan and a Raiders fan all at the same time.
Like you don't do that, bro. It violates the rules.
Brandon Whiteside's read my mind. I wasn't going to go here.
Oh, God.
Brandon Whiteside says, hey, Tanner, dude, where's my car? That's a movie, Jake. You've never probably heard of that. You've never heard of that, have you?
I have heard that drop before, but I don't have it.
Yeah, dude, where's my car, bro? That's the worst feeling when you come out.
Who is that?
Sure. Richard McDonald says, exactly. Being a Y fan, this is why. And
on
a
BYU Radio.
On BYU Radio. And a U fan is like being an evangelical and a Mormon. That's a different show.
Yeah.
For in different times.
And we don't no.
All right. Can we talk about gas prices, please? By the way, prediction on the NBA Finals real quick. Now that Greg Hawkins completely derailed the show,
Warriors
forcing us
in
to talk
6.
football. Warriors in 6.
Warriors in 6.
I think Boston's going to sweep.
No.
Next year, like a season series from somebody.
Whoever came up with that shit needs to be fired.
I'm taking Golden State in 5. I think Golden State's going to walk in this series.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think they're being really I think they have everything to play for. And I know that JT and Brown and Smart, and it's a really good group of guys over there. Steve Kerr is not to be trifled with.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, F around and find out.
He
is
a savage.
Yeah, he's that dude.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take, I don't think it happens. Golden State in 5, probably 6.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take Golden State in 5 as my official pick. Richard McDonald says, LOL, I had to fill up my tank yesterday here in SoCal. Right?
Dude.
All right, let's talk gas prices after you give us a thumbs up. If you're here right now, please give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, really supports the show. And if we have to bribe you, that's fine. I'm almost out of shirts. So
Great job on the shirts, by the way.
Yeah, really appreciate that. We are at 42. Wow, 4287.
Damn.
Yeah, we picked up just about 100 subscribers over the weekend
How about that?
without doing a show on Friday. Appreciate you guys on that. Gas prices. The average gallon of gas nationally
And this is AAA numbers.
is $4.59.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's way more expensive in Utah.
Utah.
For 85 gas, for low-end crappy gas, $4.69.
Yeah.
For 87 gas, $4.88, 30 cents higher.
Yeah.
For 91, it's $5.09 a gallon.
Yeah, dude.
So let me ask you guys this here on the show.
Yeah.
Did you stay home this weekend because of gas prices? We did not. We stayed home this weekend because we're going to the Tetons in Yosemite this coming weekend.
It was just scheduling. Had nothing to do with gas.
But I got to tell you, I am saving up my Harmon's points to fill up the Jeep.
Dude.
Because the Jeep gets like 3 miles a gallon. It's sitting on 35s.
On the freeway, it gets like 15.
Yeah, it's on 35s. It's lifted. It's fights
tank,
the wind. The thing is a tank.
Yeah,
the thing is
it's
a tank,
bro. Yeah.
It is not good on gas miles. So it'll be interesting to see how we do there. But my God, did gas prices change your traveling habits? Because here's the thing that not a lot of people are talking about when it comes to gas prices in this country right now. Yes, they are skyrocketing. You look at the California numbers.
Oh my God.
For California, 85 gas is $6.16. 87 is $6.34, and premium 91 is $6.48 a gallon.
They're the only state currently, according to these AAA numbers, that has $6 across the board for every grade.
$6.48.
Yes.
For a gallon of gas in
Yes,
SoCal,
dude.
in the
Yes.
state of California.
Yes.
I don't know how you afford that.
Kansas has the lowest gas prices across the board right now. $4.12 for 85, $4.38 for mid, and $4.65 for premium.
But who wants to live in Kansas, bro?
Yeah, I mean the first state that I'm looking at that is like desirable would be Texas. Well, Georgia. Georgia's desirable.
Okay, did you just say Texas is desirable?
Yeah, a lot of people live in Texas.
Other than, guns and
well, yeah, but
no,
A
different
ton of
conversation.
people live in Texas. Though,
No,
dude.
no, they don't.
Yes, they
Not
do.
willingly. Okay, you have a microphone.
But you said desirable.
You did.
Yeah.
You said Texas was desirable.
Texas is a desirable place to live.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well let me count the desirable ways. Hurricanes,
housing
rainstorms,
prices,
humidity,
housing prices, ability to open businesses, low taxes,
Ted Cruz.
People are dying in Cancun cruise.
Frozen hurricane rain.
Yeah.
The church guy, what's his name? The preacher dude,
Joel
Lakewood,
Osteen.
Joe Osteen.
We got a whole host of corrupt religious.
Bro, she's been down here 5 minutes. She just walks in.
5 minutes. It's been 35 seconds since she's dropping Ted Cruz, Joel Osteen bombs.
We have all kinds of corrupt religious and corrupt
But
whiteness.
that's not unique
it
to
makes
Texas.
it very
It's not
attractive
unique
for
to
white
Texas,
people.
dude. It's not unique to Texas.
It's not unique to Texas.
All I'm saying is, from
It's
a business
exacerbated in
standpoint,
Texas.
Whoa, it's a family show.
All I'm saying is Texas is a desirable place to live for a lot of people. There's no denying it. Maybe not for you, or maybe not for me.
Josh Levin says Corpus Christi is great.
But do you see what I'm saying? Like there's places to live.
He said Corpus.
I know Corpus Christi. Yes,
Corpus
I know,
Christi,
I know.
Texas.
Yeah, I know.
You,
Yeah, I know.
He said it's desirable. Whatever. Neville 93 says gas station in downtown LA went up to $8 a gallon.
Yeah, dude.
See, but this is the thing. This is the old Uncle Joe.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. It has nothing to do with politics. This is greed. This is people trying to make up for what they lost during the thing that we can't talk about because YouTube hates us when we talk about the thing where people did not cover their face because we can't say that thing,
right,
or get that thing in their arm and stuff.
Right.
This is gas station owners and companies trying to gouge, and the demand for gas is low. This is what people don't understand. The demand for gas in this country right now is low because it's so expensive. People have curbed their driving, and people now, by the way, don't go to the office, so they're not driving just to drive. So what you have is not supply and demand. You have gas companies gouging consumers. $8 a gallon is absolute thievery. And what you have now is attorneys general and the Department of Justice are looking at prosecuting gas station owners for $8 a gallon gas. That's where we've gotten in this country. Because the truth be told, the government has done everything that they can do. They've released strategic reserves. They've released diesel reserves. And what this is you're looking at, and everybody makes fun of me for doing this. Like I was looking at Pipeline Path this weekend and gas, getting ready to talk about this. And what you're seeing is the gas that is coming out of the Middle East is going to China. That's a huge problem. Who's giving gas to Europe? Well, the gas coming out of the United States is going to Europe. Mm-hmm. And it's why I think it plays into this theory that the war in Ukraine is why we have gas prices the way they are. Because now Europe yesterday, I don't know how many people saw that, because by the way, Memorial Day is a United States holiday. So around the world, business went on as usual yesterday. What did the EU say yesterday? We are going to cut our fuel and energy purchases from Russia by 90%. So oil purchasing from Russia just got slashed by 90%. So what do you think gas companies are going to do? They're going to fill that gap. And they are going to charge Europe exponentially more for petrol. For fuels than they were.
Yeah.
Because now Russia, who's a major supplier of oil, which is how we get gas, now 90% of their production was just lost in the European market. So gas prices aren't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And we can politicize the issue and say that it's Joe Biden's fault. It's not. This is greed. It's corporate greed, plain and simple, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't know that. And the worst part of this conversation is, how do you fix that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think at some point, I would hope that, I guess the only hope is that the government gets involved on that, and changes it. I mean, it's at some point, and this is inevitably what happens. Like, this is what's happening kind of with housing, I guess, and similar. Like, at some point, people are not going to pay the price. Like, at some point, they're going to stop driving, and they're going to, chill out, and companies are going to see that hit.
Giggity asks a very important question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me gas isn't high because of Joe Biden? I thought Joe was giving Hunter a cut off the top of gas profits. Well, he is, right? I mean, they're calculating that on Hunter's lap.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
Boy.
Giggity, I love you, dude. So good to see you, Giggity. I'm glad you're here. Jonathan Eaton says, just drove up from Texas a few days ago. Pain at the pump. Ooh.
Yeah,
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do either. And this springs forward this conversation about, hey, are you ready for e-cars? Are you ready for battery? Are you ready for, like, one of the things that I think is really cool is situations like this always are the give birth to innovation.
Yeah.
And if you look at what we went through during that period of time that we're not allowed to talk about on YouTube and stuff, the thing, innovation came out of that. If you look at the way that radio versus podcast works, you're on this podcast because this is your new normal. And you're not in the car and you're not listening to radio. You're listening to streamed content.
Yeah.
That's a major change. Grocery delivery services, pay online, pick up at the curb, drop it off in my window.
Right.
That's all innovations out of the thing that we can't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you look at how the world changed because of that thing, delivery service, look at Amazon. Look at the way that Amazon flourished during that period.
Jeff.
Look at the money. And a lot of people don't realize this. That thing that we're not allowed to talk about over the last couple of years probably saved the United States Post Office because of Amazon contracting the United States Post Office for a quarter of their deliveries.
Yeah.
That's a new revenue stream that wasn't here before, the thing we can't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing that situations like this, and I can only think that these skyrocketing gas prices are going to create innovation opportunities. Yeah. And whether that is a new vehicle that comes out or a new vehicle technology that comes out.
Hydrogen fuels.
Absolutely it could be. But who's the number one provider of hydrogen in the world, if memory serves? I believe it's Russia, right? So, but you look at Ford and Chevy, what are GM and Ford doing?
Yeah.
Dumping billions of dollars into new power plant things that are not petroleum based. They're trying to find ways to power cars that are not killing the world, so that, the ingredients in batteries that power, e-cars, electric vehicles, are terrible for the environment. The footprint that the manufacturing of those batteries leave behind is incredible. So people are now trying to find a way. And I got to believe that this gas crisis, is it too much to call this a crisis?
I don't think it's too much to call it a crisis. We're talking about $8 a gallon. Like, California's always been more expensive. That's kind of a given, but $8? It's insane.
See, Greg Hawkins, and I think this is a conversation. Greg Hawkins makes probably the point of the day. I wish the U.S. had a more robust transport in general. Tracks is so poor.
Yeah.
Public transportation in this country is not normalized. It is, in fact, frowned upon.
Yeah.
Because we look at people who take the bus to work as disadvantaged. Like, there are certain places. So the San Francisco Bay Area, when we lived in NorCal, I took Bay Area Rapid Transit, BART. I took BART to work every single day. You look at New York, the subway system and public transportation in New York, standard. You look at Chicago, Metro. We joked about Metro before. Metro Rail and the L in Chicago is a way of life.
But you look at the setup, in our country isn't set up to do it. I mean, overseas, like, you have a lot, the way the country is built and, like, how tight it is and how, like, close everything is together allows public transit to be more successful.
But there's no reason that we cannot invest in infrastructure. We're spending so much money on infrastructure right now because it really is one of the main and most important ways that people are being employed.
Yeah.
Infrastructure in this country does not include subways, does not include rapid transit, does not include, like, the fight over tracks expansion.
Yeah.
Consistently, bullet trains, or, I mean, Greg lives in the Philippines. You look at the Pacific Rim, the mode of transportation, and Britt, you've been there, you know this. The mode of transportation in places like Japan is completely different than the way we do it in the States.
Yeah. And so many other countries. It's not just Japan, but also you look at, like, Singapore.
Yeah.
There's a lot more public transportation. It's much more normalized to take the train or, get this, hang on, walk.
Yeah. Bicycles. What about bicycles?
Or ride your bike. People will walk on average 2 miles, just walking to work. Like, not a big deal. They're just walking to work. Here, we would never, ever, or they ride their bikes if it's something more than just a couple miles.
Now with the advent of e-bikes, I don't know why we wouldn't do that more. Like, it's the things we will not do as a society that we put judgment on or we judge people for. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just don't. We are not willing to make the sacrifices to save ourselves from things like gas.
It's ridiculous.
Like, it is. It's incredible. Jonathan Eaton says the size of the country is a big factor, but rail would help a ton. It would. We have a prolific rail system in this country for cargo and for shipping. We just don't use it for transportation.
Yeah.
It just takes. That's where there's a breaking point. We don't have. In Japan, you can take the bullet train and you can travel the length of California in a very short period of time.
Yes.
Which would really help us. If we had trains like that, no one's going to take 24 hours to get from California to New York.
But I even just mean rail to work, train to work, bus to work. Like, we have to evolve as a species.
Yeah.
Or we won't be a species anymore, which is why Carl's Jr. is releasing their Primal menu.
Oh, dear.
Did you guys see that? That's a transition.
That's a professional transition on the podcast, stuff, right?
And stuff.
Right. Uh-huh.
Make sure you give us a thumbs up, hit like. It really helps the channel grow. Please hit subscribe. We are giving away a PS5 when we get to 5,000 subscribers on this channel. And we may do that sooner, who knows. But we're going to Carl's Jr. at some point soon. Because
there's one down the street.
I think I'm in on this Primal menu. I got to tell you.
Yeah, there's one down the street.
So let's talk about our burger eating experience here. So when were we at JC Dubs the other day? Was that Thursday? Friday? When we went to JCW's, me and you?
I think it was Thursday.
I think it was Thursday night.
I like the burger a lot. I had the Hawaiian burger at JCW's.
The Hawaiian burger.
A Hawaiian burger. That's a tasty burger.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we go to JCW's the other night because my wife's like, well, I'll get a veggie burger. All right, cool. I'll get a burger. I really like the JCW's burger. So we go there and they're out.
How?
Of veggie burgers.
How?
Don't know.
Disappointing.
So you wound up getting a club sandwich that was actually really good. But if I'm going burger, I'm going Five Guys. And I know we've talked about this repeatedly.
Yeah.
We did not. Somebody asked if we tried the Arby's burger. We have not. We have not, and we probably should. We probably should.
Right.
But having said that, I love Five Guys burgers.
Yeah.
I do.
Best in the business.
I'm excited to go camping because we're going to make foil wrapped burgers while we're camping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a burger guy. Okay. So this thing at Carl's Jr. has me really excited. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to eat that because I don't eat a whole lot of meat right now. But Jake, what is a Primal menu?
Yeah, the Primal menu. They're basically Carl's Jr. is doing this whole marketing campaign where they've rolled out a Primal menu attached to the Jurassic World series. You know, the dinosaur series. Now, I actually have really enjoyed that series. I didn't get to watch the last one, but I watched one of the first ones they rolled out of the newer ones. So they're basically rolling out this Primal menu in conjunction with the release of the new movie. And you're getting 3 items. You're getting the Primal Angus Thick Burger featuring prime rib, onion rings, cheddar cheese, and amber barbecue sauce.
If it's not all over your face, it doesn't belong in your face.
The second item is the Primal Burrito featuring prime rib, fried eggs, cheddar cheese, and amber barbecue sauce.
Okay, for the record, any burger that includes fried egg, hell yes, I'm in.
Well, this is a burrito.
I said burger with fried egg.
I know. I know. And then the last one you got is the Primal Biscuit. So the third item, fried egg, featuring prime rib, cheddar cheese, and the barbecue sauce with,
Let's just get this out of the way right now.
Yeah.
English muffin or biscuit for breakfast sandwich?
English muffin.
If it's Chick-fil-A, I'm taking the biscuit, but we don't need a Chick-fil-A anymore. I'm going English muffin as well. The biscuit's got to be moist. If it's a dry-ass biscuit, it's not good. And most of them are really dry.
If it falls apart as soon as you take a bite into the sandwich, no good.
You said moist. I am a biscuit guy.
Now, I will add, as part of this rollout of the Primal menu, there are also herbivore-friendly items. See, that's a play on words for the dinosaurs, right? Herbivores, carnivores, right? So you've got your plant-based Beyond Burger patties that they will also do for all these rollouts.
Yes.
So,
now, what about the amber barbecue sauce?
So the amber barbecue sauce is a play on basically some like tree, sap essentially that was found, in the movie. It's kind of a ridiculous thing, but
called amber, but that's okay.
And it's got dinosaur DNA in it because it's Jurassic World.
Right.
They have dinosaurs with short arms and stuff.
Right.
Anyway, the point is, hell yes, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to try. That sounds so good.
Yeah.
I am so fat. Why not? Right? Like, that sounds so good.
Here are the pictures, just so you can see the pictures of it.
Oh, so they look like regular burgers.
Yeah. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew? But yeah, I mean, I think this is a better offering than what Arby's is doing.
And let's just get to the point here. Is anybody anxious to see this Jurassic Park stuff? I've never seen a Jurassic Park movie. Never, not once.
It's
how
a crime,
is it possible
dude. Like,
that you didn't see the original Jurassic Park?
Fucking America.
Well, because let's cut me some slack. I was watching Nemo on repeat.
No.
And then after
No,
that,
you
I went
weren't.
to Lion.
No, you didn't.
The King of Lions. The circle of Simba and life and stuff.
Rafiki.
And Rafiki and stuff. So, full disclosure, I still have not seen a single Disney cartoon movie.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
Involves fish or animals. I've seen Toy Story, which is not Disney. That's something else, I think.
Pixar.
It's Pixar, but it's Disney.
But it wasn't. So, Anyway, the point is that I haven't
never seen the original Jurassic Park.
No, I have a life. No, I have not.
That was one of the best movies for Jeep promotional content. They used a winch in that movie.
Watch you don't refer to people like that.
Dude.
That's an issue.
Anyway, the point is, I'm telling you now. I am telling you. I've never seen a Jurassic movie. I have not seen Nemo. I have because
What a joke.
I have never seen Finding Nemo, but my guess is they find him at the end of the movie in somebody's toilet right when they flush him. I think isn't that the last shot where he's in the and they
come
flush
on,
it.
that's cold-blooded. No,
so wrong.
actually,
And
they
they're like,
flush his ass down the toilet, and then he gets reunited with his dad.
And
in
they're
the
like,
ocean.
"Hey, what's that brown fish floating in the bowl
He's
with
actually
Nemo?"
orange.
But there's a brown fish. No, that's not a fish. Anyway, the point is, I have not seen Nemo or Rafiki.
Dude,
it's called
Lion
King.
On,
Oh, Lion King. Yes, it's called Lion King. Yeah, I've never lived the circle of life.
It's not Rafiki King. It's Lion King.
I've never lived the circle of life.
What are the comments saying?
That I'm right, and you're amazing. Good
How
job.
about that?
Staying away from that stuff. James Knight says we get our balls busted on fuel down here in Australia as well.
I'm sure.
The size of the country is a big factor. I agree. Richard McDonald says, I'm hopeful about the future. They'll look at 15-minute city they're building at the point of the mountain. What's happening at the point of the mountain is pretty crazy, if we're telling the truth. Like,
once they move that jail out.
Yeah, and stuff. Can't have prisoners living in the middle of those $1 million neighborhoods. Fat Jesus says, I'm going to walk to work like a poor person. Wow. Greg says, but Fat Jesus, if you did, then you'd be Slim Jesus, and that sounds like Kids Bop rapper name.
Never.
Slim Jesus.
Slim Jesus. You can't walk to work, Chubbs. Eric C. says a bullet train in Cali would be perfect. I tend to agree with that. Eric C. also says, a Pulp Fiction reference. Yeah, that's a tasty burger. Arby's Wagyu burger is nice. Brandon, you tried it. You tried it. Brandon Whitesides tried the Arby's Wagyu burger.
Okay, so you liked it.
Okay. Dick's Deluxe, Josh Loverin says. Okay. James Knight says Hawaiian pizza is pretty popular down here.
I thought we weren't talking porn anymore.
Yeah, we don't do porn on this show, ever.
Never.
The great destroyer of men. Tanner says the new Jurassic Park movie doesn't look good, in my opinion. But that's kind of redundant.
Okay, but do you think Top Gun looks good? Or I'm sorry, Maverick. Sorry.
Did
Maverick.
you see that that is...
Top Gun
What a
colon
joke, dude.
Maverick?
It's called Top Gun.
No, it's called Top Gun colon Maverick.
Ridiculous.
Because you got to work your colon into everything.
It's ridiculous.
Anyway, the point is that Top Gun had a huge opening.
Yeah, dude.
Massive.
Huge opening. We didn't see it. Yes, I saw the previous Top Gun, which is better than Lion King or Rafiki. Greg Hawkins says there's a new Jurassic Park movie. Oh, I love it, Greg. Thank you. Tanner says, actually, Monty, Nemo dies at the end, LOL. You know, you can't flush a fish into a sewer and think it's going to live.
We're on to Cincinnati.
You know, my kids love Jurassic Park movies, Jeremy Bolton says.
They're great movies, man.
They're just meh to me, but my 12-year-old is super excited for it.
Yeah, they're fun movies.
Okay, it's so for 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and well, which you display
up,
daily, that you guys are only like maybe 11 and a half.
What? That's not nice. That's not nice. Anyways, Fat Jesus says not seeing Jurassic Park is worse than anything we have ripped Jake for not seeing.
Yeah, come on.
He's
guy.
never.
Come
No.
on,
Let's get
Here
this
we
right.
go. Here comes the
He's
Godfather
never
reference.
seen The Godfather.
Yeah, here comes the Godfather.
That is the trump card
here's
for
the
life.
thing. We'll pick on Jake for things that came out, 20 years before he was ever born. But these movies were made when you were alive, babe.
Right, but I'm
interesting, man.
No, it's not interesting. I'm an adult. I don't watch cartoons. Oh, Nemo, Circle of Nemo. Like, I know, bro. No.
That's what the crowd is here
No.
for, to hear you sing Circle of Nemo.
But seriously, how can you fault me for not seeing cartoons, but you have never seen The Godfather and you have testosterone in your body, allegedly, because that's never been confirmed?
Bro.
Fuck God.
What
are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Dude, it's criminal you haven't seen the first original Jurassic Park.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
no,
Yes,
it's not.
It is.
It's not.
Dude, come on.
Jurassic Park, dinosaurs aren't real. They're dead and stuff.
Yeah.
In the asteroid in the water and stuff. Noah's Ark.
Right.
Or whatever happened.
The Big Bang.
Yeah. Anyway, the point is, there is no problem with me not watching cartoons. There's a huge problem with you not watching Bobby D.
It's internal.
Yeah, well, it would be. But hey, how about, what's his name? The gangster guy that died.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Ray Liotta. Have you seen Goodfellas?
Yes.
No, you are
Yes, I
such a
have,
liar.
dude. Yes, I have. We watched it together. Do you
Reservoir
not remember
Dog?
that?
No, I don't remember that. You're making that up.
No, I'm not,
We did not
dude.
watch Goodfellas
yes, we
together.
did.
Have you ever seen Casino?
Yes.
Yes.
Have
I
you
think
ever
I
seen
have.
Have you ever seen Goodfellas?
I feel like a portion, not the whole thing, I don't think.
Wow.
You like how there's a whole list.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever.
Wow. The Circle of Nemo and it moves is all and it moves is all. Okay. Have you seen the adult version of Five? You cannot say that, Fat Jesus. He wants to know if you've seen the adult version of Finding Nemo.
No.
Which is titled Finding Penis.
All right, I'm gonna throw a topic in there
dude.
on the.
Yeah,
on
throw
the-
it
She's
in.
gonna throw it
in.
in. Yeah, throw it in.
Throw a topic in there. Last week, my friends told me about a podcast called "My Dad Wrote a Porno." Oh my god!
How about that?
Yeah, so we're sitting around playing hockey the other day, like EA hockey, because that's how we release stress in this house. And Britt's like, oh, I'm going to turn on this podcast. You guys are going to love it. And it's some dude reading the porno that his dad wrote. And it's terrible, but you have to listen to it. It's awesome. It's a great podcast.
It really is.
So
it's
bad.
Funny. It's funny.
You have to. I'm looking at upcoming Hollywood movies, and they're all either
dude.
remakes or superhero films.
Yes.
Good Lord, Greg Hawkins says true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Josh Levern says, time to watch Godfather and Lion King while eating Arby's. Exactly right. Exactly right. Man, amazing. Josh Levern says, you aren't even listing Big Ray's best film, Wild Hogs. I didn't know he did porn. Greg Hawkins says, Rip Ray Liotta, Goodfellas is a top-tier film, one of the best of all time. Also, Casino was good, even though Ray's not in it. Yes, Casino is a great movie. It is. I'm telling you, anything Bobby D where people die is a great movie. Oh, Heat is. Stop.
Savage.
Come on.
Savage,
Heat is
bro.
amazing.
Yeah, savage.
Heat is amazing. The new Top Gun was fantastic, Fat Jesus says.
See, nobody calls it the new Maverick. It's the new Top Gun.
Because it's
Thanks.
called Top Gun, Maverick. That's the name of the movie.
No.
So E.T. is also a good movie, Jeremy
Stop.
Bolton says. Have you seen E.T.?
Yes.
You've never seen
Yes,
E.T.?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
Just checking. Have you seen Mars Attacks?
I loved Mars Attacks. It was one of my favorites.
Wait, didn't we? see
Yeah,
that?
I'm pretty sure we all saw that.
Yeah, we saw
together.
that together, didn't
Yeah.
Yes. Such a good movie.
Thank you.
we? Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, and then
Okay,
there's a-
Monty. Tanner says, okay, Monty, which would you do? Watch a Harry Potter movie or watch a Disney cartoon? Bullet. Is there really a Bob's Burger movie out now? No, there's not. That's not true.
I don't know.
Is there a... No, stop it. Stop. What? When did we stop making good movies in this country, by the way?
When that thing we're not allowed to talk about came out.
Fat Jesus says Top Gun 2, Electric Boogaloo. Could be. You know. Mars Attacks, so effing good, Jeremy Bolton says. Oh, yes, Greg Hawkins. Ray Liotta was good in Field of Dreams. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jeremy Bolton says, hey, guys.
Oh, God.
Hi, Tanner. If you could bring back one Disney character from the 70s and put them into a 90s Disney movie, who would it be?
Hey, guys.
No.
In the 70s? Put them
No.
into a nine?
No.
No, I'm good.
Nope.
That was way too complex,
I'm
man.
good.
I've only had one cup
Yeah,
of coffee.
I'm good.
Yeah, that made my brain hurt. Anyway, all right.
Okay.
We should probably go.
Yeah.
We should probably go. All right. Make sure you hit like, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe. Tomorrow on the show, we'll have more ridiculous things we made up to talk about. I promise you tomorrow, we will do the Pac-12 topic because a lot of people asked about Pac-12 and USC. Tomorrow, we will talk Pac-12 football on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow. And then that's the last show for the week. So we should probably...
Good talk.
Because I'm dragging them out to the forest.
You are taking us to the Tetons in Yosemite. So don't forget
Yeah.
tomorrow, today and tomorrow, and then we're off Thursday, Friday. So appreciate you for that. Like, subscribe, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.